Getting things done is messy enough when it's just yourself, but when you have to get things done through other people, it gets even messier. And I'm talking about team leadership. It doesn't matter how many tools you have like Slack and ClickUp and Trello. Your team will fail if you don't have the secret 3-step process for getting projects done that comes from a little book for French factory managers. And yes, I'm serious. It's called General and Industrial Management. It's written by Henri Fayol. He was the Peter Drucker of his day. Fayol was an engineer turned manager who worked at this French company whose name I can't pronounce.
Compagnie de Commentary Fourchambault de Casseville.
He spent most of his career there. This little book came out in 1916 in the middle of the war to end all wars, which unfortunately turned out to be the first in a series that dragged on for way too long, much like the Hunger Games. But what does all this have to do with managing projects in an age of Trello and Slack? Fayol discovered the secret 3-step process to getting things done through other people. And I'm here to share it with you so that you don't have to wade into a book that's full of super interesting charts like this. So what are the 3 steps? Well, they are planning on the front end, reporting on the back end. What comes in between, I'll get to that in a second. In Fayol's view, good team leaders are the key to harmonizing a group of people so that you get better results than normal, but with a fraction of the effort. When it comes to planning, I can hear some of you saying like, hey, why don't we just get into action and we'll figure it out as we go? And I hear you. Imperfect action is better than just sitting on the sidelines. However, here's what Fayol says about planning. The absence of a plan causes hesitation, false steps, and untimely changes in direction, which are the causes of many disasters in business. So there's real consequences on the line here for not planning. Good planning is what points your imperfect action, at least in the right direction. No, it won't be perfect action, but it will be pointed in the right direction if you do the proper planning first. That's what's on the line here. We have planning on the front end. We also need reporting on the back end so that we can know if we've actually hit our goal, and along the way, if we're actually using the right numbers and a deadline so that we're on our way to meeting that eventual goal of getting the project done, right? As one of my mentors taught me, a goal isn't actually a goal unless it has a number and a deadline attached to it, right? It needs those 2 things. So we've got to be able to put numbers to the progress that we want and to the eventual goal that we want to hit. What defines whether that project is actually done, and what are the milestones that we need to hit along the way? When I was working on the Microfamous book, I didn't set the goal of getting the book done. The goal was to write 1,000 words a day. And I just held myself to that. That was the standard. That was the goal. That's how I knew I was going to hit the eventual goal of writing and then releasing the book. As I focused on what I could control, I put a real number and a real deadline to it. Now, before we uncover that middle step, the one that actually guarantees that your projects will get done, just remember this channel exists for entrepreneurs who want 3 things. You want to be famously influential to the right people. You want to teach, train, and lead others so you make an impact, and you want to enjoy life along the way. So if that resonates, make sure to do all the like and share and subscribe-y things that tells YouTube that you like the video. Here's the 3rd step of getting things done through other people. And this is the one that gets neglected the most, I think, which is the weekly meeting, right? Every single week you're meeting and bringing that team together. Remember that we talked about a goal isn't really a goal without both a number and a deadline. Well, that doesn't just apply to getting the project done in general. It also applies along the way. It applies to your progress. So you want to have a way to measure your progress. That is the weekly meeting. That gives you that rhythm of every single week. People are being held accountable and they walk away from every single meeting knowing what needs to be done and a deadline for when it needs to be done. When you're leading a team and real goals are on the line, goals that you really care about, that weekly meeting is absolutely non-negotiable. And fortunately, Fayol leaves us behind a list of exactly what to cover in those meetings. How each person's area is running, the challenges they're facing, the help they need, and potential solutions and ideas. Then you as the leader invite opinions from everyone and ensure that decisions are made by the end of that meeting. So everyone walks away from that meeting knowing exactly what's expected and exactly when the deadline is to get that thing done. So there you have it. That's the secret 3-step process for getting things done through other people. Planning on the front end, reporting on the back end, weekly meetings, all the way in between. When it comes to getting things done through other people, there is no software, there's no app, there's no hack, there's no tool, there's no anything that substitutes for real leadership. So if you enjoyed this, you can get more bite-sized content like this over on Substack in written form, or you can check out another video right around here.